Hey, welcome back.
Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble.
Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. I'm sorry. Wait, Detective Gumshoe. What is it? Stepped in gum!
With my shoe!
You got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here? I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you something, dude. This is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give this to you. There was a break in today's trial. Evidence law?
It's a non-Sherlock Holmes book.
Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day.
The case of the evidence law. You must know the two rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright?
Seems so.
You could at least study some evidence law, really.
You're fired. Chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message.
Sarge?
Message? She said you're planning to take him on. You're going to need this book. Him. I don't know anybody's genders here yet. Didn't ask him.
Shit.
Who's him?
It doesn't say in the court record.
I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read.
Evidence law from Miss Sky explains the two rules of evidence law.
One full book for 2 rules?
Yep. It's a picture book.
That's crazy.
Yeah, rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department, and then rule 2 is unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Got it?
Well, I mean, even to show unregistered evidence, you've already got to automatically connect it to the case. Somebody's just gonna throw a random paperclip in. And this paperclip.
Oh.
How are you gonna connect that?
Well, you see, Righto, I can't be the killer because I got a paperclip. Hold it! Have you read this book?
Doesn't look like that book will do any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh?
Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still standing, I guess standing, I don't sit. Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me.
You're a big fan of Elton John. Mr. Edgeworth?
The real trial today hasn't begun yet.
What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. When Sky found out she unwittingly caused a man's death, and now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal! You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him. No matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end.
In the next episode.
Can I get that voice actor thing called Dragon's Blood?
Called Dragon's Blood.
It's a Chinese product.
And like voice actors would use?
Yeah, well, it's throat medicine.
It's like a lozenge?
No, it's a liquid.
And it's actual dragon's blood?
Yes, obviously.
You gave me conflicting answers there.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Mr. Edgeworth!
Yes, Your Honor.
The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions.
Thank you for the news, Your Honor.
Yes, well... Shit, he took it well. I'm shocked. Normally, this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness, but, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have,
Struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses?
I didn't say that! Who said that? Bailiff, did you say that? It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and...
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
A solution!
That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing.
Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Pumpernickel.
Unbelievable. You're a grown-ass man yelling pumpernickel.
Yes. Yes, Joe, I am.
Yeah! We only quote the good and practical jokers.
I thought the newest season's still not that bad.
No, they're not terrible. Is it as good as when Joe was there? No. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well, the defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. The, defense, oh no, may now call forth the next witness.
Mr. Wright.
I suggest you call this person.
Yeah. Call yourself. It's the only way. You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over.
The defense calls. The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. Oh, so I now have to actually, just based on what I know, figure out who the real one is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Given that they're throwing this question at you immediately,
I wasn't expecting them to now.
it should be obvious or who is the most suspect.
That's really easy. It's Meekins.
Got him!
You son of a bitch. I know you killed him! I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna, I'm off my mind. I'm gonna think it's Gant. Damien, the son of Satan. I mean, Damon.
I'm here!
Shit. Called the wrong man.
Oh.
Oh, righto, you did it again.
Nobody really wants me. Oh, look at my father.
My father.
My father.
Just starts going on a Joker monologue. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant, what does he have to do with anything? As a defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it.
As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor?
Was he blackmailing Lana?
Damon Gant?
I'm thinking about the fact that she was told there's a body in the trunk. somehow she was informed there was a body.
Mm-hmm.
She finds the body.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the SL9 knife in it,
Mm-hmm.
hinting at, remember what your sister did?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because she wouldn't agree to, I'm sure Gant chose something really stupid to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get out of here, Mark Wahlberg.
Shit, don't call me him. I'm not as good of a rapper as Marky Mark.
Well, you can't get angry at me. I'm not. I'm white. He only gets angry at Asians.
What the fuck? Specifically those Vietnamese.
True. All right, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. He's gone.
Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this? Some kind of practical joke? How is this on my way to lunch?
Practical joke.
Your name and occupation, sir? Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh?
I feel like he's gonna jump over the stand and just start punching everybody. Somebody stop him!
You don't want to see my alt.
Please, Mr. Gant.
Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police.
Now then, Chief Gant. Court requests to hear your testimony.
Oh, righto. What's with the grim face?
First, somebody's been killed.
Ow.
Second, let's clear up this SL9 incident.
Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already.
Jerk, you can't guilt trip me. Nice try. Go ahead and give us your account.
Your testings.
Set him on the stand. Let me see him. There's still some things unaccounted for.
Oh? Like what?
Who used the restroom at 9 a.m.? Like the role you played in all of this.
Son, either you're very brave or very foolish.
A little bit of both.
You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Weapons?
Pew, 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 pew. Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to.
What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify.
Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
I feel like he's gonna pull out a switchblade.
Wait a minute, that's a murder weapon! Uh-oh.
No,
it's...
IG! Back me up here!
Come on!
Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. There I was, playing with my testes.
As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. A power outage didn't help either.
Power outage? Nobody talked about a power outage except for after. He'd already gotten out.
When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
Huh.
Huh?
I'm glad that just fully... Come on, guys. I didn't fake any actual letters.
No.
I just had, you know, face piece and
No.
her fingerprints.
No.
Is that when Dark was arrested?
Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious.
I kicked him a couple times.
You.
Look, somebody had like a force.
When am I sent you flying? As soon as Doc bumped his head.
I see, and that little monkey was no longer playing on the bed. Everything seems pretty clear cut.
Police chief has the right to refuse to testify. And I better hit him hard and fast.
And hard. And fast.
Again.
And again and again.
And again.
As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day.
As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day.
Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning that award, Neil was all fired up too. That probably was what spooked Doc and made him run away like that. Was the defendant Lana Sky also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Doc ran for it. Make a long story short, we slipped up. A powder outage didn't help either.
Make a long story short, we let him sit right next to the door, and we were on the other side of the room.
And we were doing this all in a gymnasium.
So when he wanted to run, he was free.
They're like, no, don't. Damn it.
Just inching towards the door.
No. No. Shit.
Who left that unlocked?
Hold on, so I gotta take my Advil. But I gotta get some
I
icy
got
hot.
sore legs.
Icy hot and
Oh, these sore muscles.
Hey, young man, I could help you with that.
Shaq!
Shaq! Shaq versus Doc.
Hey, young man, I challenge you to a race.
Hey man, you seems like you killed a bunch of people. That's not cool.
Kazam.
Because I'm cool, yeah.
So the two of you ran immediately after him, right?
That's right, but Doc made it to the elevator first, so Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky. What's this about a power outage? Oh, that! The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil when that knife went to his heart, though.
That's not funny.
When I went to my office, I found Lana there.
Could you tell us what you saw?
It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together.
Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor?
Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls.
Lana and Emma.
Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Apparently she had already arranged this crime scene. Crime.
How can you know that?
Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved. So that means he found the body near Lana's desk. That's right. I think you said earlier it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor.
Yes, the suit you wear regularly.
The suit you're wearing right now.
There's a knife and it just sticks into him. Guess I was wrong on that one. Oh, right. Oh, you got me.
You got me. Finally figured out my days over.
Right in the kidney. I sure have it in for me now.
I really love the Renaissance Fair. I guess that really did me in. Anyway, as you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Friggin'.
So you're saying the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt, but moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable, no matter what the circumstances.
Is that how it really went down?
Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you better off be staring at the court record.
Stare at me.
Worthy, always a smooth talker.
Which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident.
My god, and you have like fucking like 70 million pieces of evidence.
Let me just go through all of this.
Evidence of sports.
You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that that is a claim you cannot back up, partner.
Explain yourself.
Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example.
That's the list that Emma Sky drew her picture on. I remember.
Good job. Here's your sticker.
Yes.
This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of this jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe.
It was found where?
In a safe. I
Where?
broke into it.
In a safe what?
Place. You're on our safe place. You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in an illegal investigation.
Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this?
Here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy.
He's not a defense attorney. So you admit to it. Then that you were involved in the forgery?
Who, me? What do you mean, you?
Why would I have anything to do with that?
Well, you weren't the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto?
Gumshoe was with me.
However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy.
He is too stupid to forge.
Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment.
You already fired him. What? Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. He's already technically been fired. We're skipping past the fact that he's like, you can leave your badge on the way out. Not really his badge, but his ID. Guess the game really just forgot all about that.
No, they didn't.
Yes, well, in light of Detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office. And the relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
My. Kids these days don't want to know how to put 2 and 2 together. 4, right?
7.
Oh fuck. Let's see. What was it now? A jar fragment and a list. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I participated in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
What about the leather? I don't know what the fuck it was. Rag?
Yeah, with the fingerprints on it?
Yeah, with the fingies on it.
The fingies.
Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol.
You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences.
You wouldn't let me search your office to begin with.
Because you said it had nothing to do with the crime.
And it has nothing to do with the crime.
But it does. Oh.
Indeed. I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again.
My apologies, Chief, but Would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know.
Alright, Archie. In return, though.
I know. Back rubs, that place, right?
Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? No, he's just really used to blackmailing people.
You think he's blackmailing the judge? Or that they're truly good friends? Well, I know you could have planted them in my office.
I'd appreciate it if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations.
Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that.
What?
You know.
Back in my day. Back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped.
Mr. Wright, what are you saying?
Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Wright's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal.
Grr. I've never faced anyone as slimy as this guy.
Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered.
What do you mean by that?
This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery.
If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery...
I'm not through speaking yet, Righto. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. If they were found after Doc was convicted, then they're worthless.
Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation?
It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Doc was sentenced.
Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient?
Right. The chief is talking about a possibility. So long as you can't rule that out, your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time.
That was something I don't know.
Come now, Righto. Think about it. There's no reason I participate in the forgery.
How about to forge?
I do play some Halo 3 Forge all the time. I like making my own maps.
I am a blacksmith in my free time. How can you look me in the eye and say that?
Because I'm innocent.
Tell that to your creepy eyes.
Remember, who was it that murdered Neil?
I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye.
Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all of this.
Oh? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit?
That would, of course, be the position you have. Chief of Police.
Oh, that's right, he's true.
Ooh.
The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to chief. That in itself is sufficient motive.
Oh, that's a good one!
Huh?
Do you really think I'm that incompetent?
What do you mean?
Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little.
Is that true, Edgeworth?
Yes, I was gonna be made chief anyway. Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at.
Wouldn't you question his, Wouldn't you question choosing him if he let a suspect get away while in questioning? Is that a very good look?
I think it'll be better because the chief of police just sits in the office all day.
He's not the chief of police yet.
No, if we make him chief of police, then he won't be in investigation rooms with criminals. So we put him in an office.
But he's in charge of people.
Yeah, in charge of his officers.
If he doesn't know how to do his officer's job well, who's to say he can manage them?
One small mistake isn't that bad.
Don't you try and make me think otherwise.
So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I.
Irene.
There! It's out in the open now! Archie, would you mind if I change my testimony a little?
By all means, please do. I'm scared shitless.
I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me.
Nothing in it for you.
Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl. Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised.
I don't think you were raised.
I'm quite tall.
Those are your shoes, and you know it.
You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy.
There have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Alright, hold on. He's the murderer, so I obviously need to point out the conflict.
Okay.
But also, didn't he get the majority of the credit for getting the killer?
No.
They didn't
You
really
got-
talk about who got the credit for
You got
it.
half the credit. Who got the other half?
So Miss Lana. But then he sent her away so she couldn't take any more of his shine.
He did not send her away. He sent her to be chief prosecutor. The top prosecutor job.
Yeah, so he
Why?
could get all of the shine.
Well, no, chief prosecutor is a pretty big position. Why would he do that?
I mean, you send it. We've already discussed why she went to chief prosecutor, which was so he had control over her.
Yeah.
True, you might not help out anyone for their sake. But if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
Ooh.
That's not what I mean.
Very well, then he is a nice man who
Yeah.
likes to lend a hand. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence?
Lana.
Chief Prosecutor Lana? That bitch!
I believe it's quite obvious in the light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. It's a great book series. I'd get lost in them too. Who would want to help her more than her own sister? Lana. And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana, if she asks him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? Ah, Jesus! What do you mean?
Jesus is self-prophet?
He kept walking around going, I'm the prophet. He didn't.
Ah, yeah. Not the Messiah! He is the Messiah!
After the he went up to the hooker's feet and said, "This is the Messiah." After the SO9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job was you, Chief Gant.
But how would he profit from all of this?
He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets?
My God.
Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind.
Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her.
Right, oh my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something.
Oh, negative.
How did you know? Samesies!
What?
Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing?
Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. But Emma's no longer protected. We have blabbed everything.
I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture.
Unless, that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident? Which one would that be?
Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Just what do you mean? You can't see your tongue?
And
What do you mean, Your Honor? That Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
What? What? Water! I said water! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious!
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency to accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder. That's impossible.
Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. You're not throwing me under the bus this time.
it's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now.
Looks like we're gonna have to punch him in the stomach. I'm gonna go high, you go low. Looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder?
Good question.
Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I see. All right, then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got. It better be good. I missed my tuna rolls for this.
Yes.
Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman.
B was Goodman's ID, the king of prosecute the trophy, the murder weapon, not really, it's not really the weapon, but you know, that's what Lana Sky said. She took the knife and then stabbed him. Pocket stab, that's when the body was there, don't care. Goodman died from lost blood, 1 knife wound. There's the memo that Goodman had about a SO9. There's a ground photo of Lana, the victim's shoe has Lana's blood on it. The knife was found at the crime scene, wrapped in the muffler. Don't care. The ID card record right here. Of anybody, of the people that went inside the evidence room. Fingerprinting, screwdriver. Goodman had a lost item report.
Can you go back to the screwdriver? Evidence from past case of Edgeworth brought back to his office by Gant twice.
Yeah. Goodman had a lost item report. He lost his ID card and went to the chief of police. The stabbing, this is big blood over there, blue blood over there. Don't care. Marshall's fingerprints, but we know it's not Marshall. Security video, yeah, blah. And that's basically it. What ties Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman? Owies!
The obvious one I want to use, but I'm not sure yet, is the ID cards. To the check-in. Shit. If I get this wrong, I'm gonna punch.
This is the ID card list.
I got him. He stepped right into my snare.
Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7777777.
Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number.
It's your number.
What? How do you know that?
The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. 7-digit code.
7 digits? You don't mean...
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. Same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant! You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Looks like he's really constipated. That poop's not coming out.
Order! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Fiber.
Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations, and I would demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. Right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card.
Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime?
What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you enter the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room.
Oh, so he shits his pants too. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he?
Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days.
You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. I can see your underwear. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? The trial's
It's the slip. You filled out that slip.
The lost item report?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to the case!
My brain thought of it, and if I didn't say it, I was gonna forget it.
This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt.
No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met with the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting?
In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm sure they just kissed. I'm going to have to ask you for the evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime.
Detective Goodman lost his ID card on that day of the crime.
Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it.
So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have given that report to the chief of police.
Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it.
He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day.
He needed to?
Yes, to transfer the evidence out.
Who?
Detective Goodman took that form to you, Chief Gant. Then you accompanied the detective to the evidence room.
I accompanied him?
There's no other way that the murder of Detective Goodman could have entered the room.
And
Detective Goodman could have entered the room. I'm tired, I'm sorry.
hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman.
Exactly.
But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card.
Yes.
That's strictly forbidden.
Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your ID card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body.
He's going Super Saiyan!
Chief Gant, you didn't!
Murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime for no one in their right mind. Oh shit. They were digging up into SL9. They found out what had actually happened. He would have lost his leverage on Lana.
So that's his motivation?
So that was his motive. They would have freed Lana.
Yeah, okay.
An extent. I don't know if they held Lana in bad regards at that point. I can't tell you how they
think so.
I don't tell you how they felt about her.
I don't think they had bad blood.
But they would have freed her. They might have also been like, what you did was wrong.
Yeah.
But they would have freed her, and she wouldn't have been under his thumb. We choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, we contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? Dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course.
You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did they manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know.
There was an award handed out.
And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony.
Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal.
Oh, do you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you! Take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office? I don't think so.
Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove that you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. To prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. Jesus. And all this time, I thought it was just a useless clue, just taking up space. The Blue Badger, mister.
My God, no.
How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence.
I'll use the Blue Badger as a catapult. Flinging the body across the entire city.
I'm showing.
Oh, it's not useless.
Remove the victim's body, you can't use what? How did he get the body from the evidence room
Point B
to the prosecutor's office?
A. Point B. From point A to point B. From point A to point B. From point A, he just stuffed it in Edgeworth's car.
And then what?
Then what? He just left it. He told Lana to get there.
So he drugged a body all the way to the prosecutor's office.
Well, I mean, I would go through all of the evidence one more. One full time, go through all the evidence.
I don't care about all this. You're on the right track. It was found in Edgewood's car. But Edgewood's the prosecutor. Why would he be at the police office?
Oh, is it going to be the award so we can show that there was the award given to him?
No?
That was why he was at the police office, because there was the award.
Yeah, but he went back to the prosecutor's office. But then he went back to the police station. Why?
Police station.
Edgeworth did tell us about this. Why did he go back to the police station?
I mean, it was the.
I also think of evidence we haven't used yet.
The piece of paper?
What piece of paper?
The victim memo?
No, we use that to connect this incident to the SLI incident.
The only other evidence I can think of is the glove and the screwdriver. Those are the two things that haven't been used yet.
We have used the glove.
Held the locker open. So the screwdriver. Oh, it says right there. Brought back to his office by Grant's request.
The grant request.
Gant's, whatever, Grant. I always see Grant instead of Gant, because Gant is not a right word.
No, it's not. It's a name.
Exactly. My statement still stands. Yeah. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body.
What's that? A screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case?
Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is the screwdriver doing here?
It's here because... I was asked to go. By Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office.
But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to.
You mean I...
The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. The car picked it up. It's a transformer.
Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car.
Yes, unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye.
Order, order, order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations?
Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took of the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed into the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite.
It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk.
Chief Gant, please say something.
I believe... your time's up.
My time's up?
Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special.
But the cross-examination isn't finished yet.
Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Weapons?
Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now.
What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now.
Well,
You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police.
Yes?
This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright,
Your Honor,
do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body.
Do I have any concrete proof?
Absolute concrete proof.
Concrete? Not that I can think of.
Alright.
Are you showing evidence? I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence.
See, Haji?
In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for allegations against the chief.
What?
Here's a tip. Never gamble. Let me do the tip again. Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Haji, I'll leave the West to you. The West. Where?
I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer at our nation's law enforcement agency.
Wah!
Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her.
Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean?
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony.
A lady who knows the truth. Another witness.
In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony.
But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify.
There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room.
Mr.
The judge!
Edgeworth, who is this person?
Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today.
Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist?
You may not be willing to tell the truth. We can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth
Actually, we're stopping now because we're going to call forth the witness in.
the next
So
episode.
you watch this episode of H20. Make sure to subscribe.
It's Goodman!
Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified to be up. Cheers.
Every day.
Bye-bye.